Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back, and welcome to day 5 of my 1-year walk. Um, for those of you just joining this, if this is the first video that you're seeing, what I'm doing is I am posting a video a day for an entire year, going through reading the Bible cover to cover. Today's reading was Genesis chapters 12, 13, and 14. And my biggest takeaway from these 3 chapters is Abram had a lot of faith, and a lot of trust in God. It starts right away with God saying, basically, "Hey, Abram, get all your stuff, get your wife together, get your immediate family together, and leave, and I'll show you where to go after you left." He basically says, go to the land that I will show you. And Abram he did it. God makes him, a promise saying, "I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing." So he makes this promise saying, basically, trust me, I got this, but you got to go. And in verse 4, the first, verse after God says, "Hey, here's what you need to do," it says, "So Abram departed, as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him." Which, from yesterday's reading, we saw that Lot is Abram's brother's son, and so it's Abram's nephew. So they left and they went into Canaan, and in Canaan, when they passed through the land unto a place of Sichem, unto the plain of Morah, the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, basically, I'm going to give your generations, your seeds, all of this land. So Abram built an altar there. And then he kept going. Built his altar there, said, this is where my future generations are going to be. And then he kept going. He kept going forwards, going on still toward the south. Because I think he did this because he said, God said, "I'm going to give this to your seed." He didn't say, "This is yours. This is, I'm giving this land to you." He said, "I'm giving this to your seed." And I think Abram kind of, okay, well, if you're not giving it to me, then I have to keep going to find where I'm supposed to be. There's a couple things in tonight's reading that was kind of different, kind of weird. So when they were getting close to Egypt, Abram was like, "Yeah, my wife's pretty good looking, and I know that she is, and I need to know. She needs to know that she needs to say that she's my sister." So Abram goes to his wife and says, "Hey, you need to say you're my sister because you're an attractive woman, and these Egyptians, they're going to see you and see your fairness, and they're going to be like, if we get rid of that dude, which is her husband, we can have her. But by saying, oh, she's, my sister, then they spared him. And it worked. However, the Pharaoh, it didn't work out too well for the Pharaoh. The Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Abram's wife, it says. Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is it that you've done to me? And why'd you not tell me that she was your wife? And basically he kicked Abram and his wife and all that they had out of Egypt. So Abram left, but at this time, he had become kind of rich. Says Abram was very rich in cattle and silver and in gold. And so he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai. And he had a bunch of cattle at the time, and Lot, which is his nephew, also had a bunch of cattle. And it got to the point where they both had way too many cattle in one place. So in chapter 13, Abram and Lot separate. Abram tells Lot, pick a direction you want to go and I'll go the other way. If you go that way, I'll go that way. If you decide you want to go that way, I'll go that way. And so they kind of split ways, and Abram stayed in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain. And it says he pitched his tent towards Sodom. Chapter 14 kind of has it's called the Battle of the Kings, and I guess this is kind of where it starts getting to where God is basically creating the nation of Israel. There was basically a bunch of kings, and they were all basically at war with each other, and the couple of the kings, won a fight basically, and they captured Lot, and they took him, for hostage or for ransom or something. I don't know. They just caught him and took him, and it's kind of interesting because it talks about how. Well, actually, let me go back real quick, because when they left, when Abram and Lot parted ways, Abram said to Lot, basically, I don't want to fight, because there had been some strife between the herdsmen of Abram's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle. And Abram was like, we can't do this. It says in chapter 13, verse 8, Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we are brethren, or for we be brethren. So he basically said, I don't see you as a nephew anymore. I see you as a brother. So when we get over here into chapter 14, it says, and they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. One of the captors captees had escaped and told Abram what happened, that they got Lot. And when it says in verse 14, and when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants born in his house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. So basically he was like, nope, gathering up a posse, we're riding out, we're getting my brother back. So they went, fought a big war, brought his brother back, which is technically his nephew. But he also brought back, once he went and found where they were keeping Lot, and they won the war to get Lot back, basically. They not only got Lot, but they also got all of Lot's goods and everything that he had, and brought them back to where Lot was originally living, which was near Sodom. Yeah, Sodom. The king of Sodom went out to meet them after his return from the slaughter of, and this is again one of those weird words, Chedorlaomer. Don't know how to say it. And the kings that were with him at the valley of Shavah, which is the King's Dale. And that's basically, kind of how the tonight's reading ended. The king of Salem goes and blesses Abram, and says that this was all because of God. And Abram, in chapter 14 verse 22, it says, and Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up mine hand unto God, or unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from... So what this is talking about. The king of Sodom said unto Abram, give me the persons and take thy goods to thyself. He was basically saying, give me the people who did this and I'll give you whatever you want. And Abram was basically saying, no thanks, I'm good, I'll just take what's mine. And that's kind of where it ended off. So it's kind of an interesting read tonight. It wasn't super action packed, or it wasn't a story that is a well-known story in the Bible, but it is still kind of cool to see that this is it's a foreground of what's to become Israel. So it's kind of cool to see some things of what God is doing and what He's planning out. And like I said, it's not a super well-known story, but one that I think if we didn't have a background of what had happened here, some of the things that we are going to get into might not make sense. There's some foreshadowing with foreshadowing of Moses and the plagues of that Pharaoh, because God created plagues for the Pharaoh that's currently alive, or in this story. So kind of cool. Like I said, not a whole lot of action in this one, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys took something a little more away from it than I did. Maybe you guys can put some insight in it for me. And yeah, again, I'm doing this a video a day. We're taking the readings of the 1 year through the Bible devotional and doing those readings, and then my video is kind of this, kind of my takeaway from it. Tomorrow's reading is going to be Genesis 15, 16, and 17. If you want to join along and follow along, I do have a link down in the description below where you can get a copy of the 1 year through the Bible devotional, as well as an everyday study Bible. Like I said, links to grab them both of what I'm reading and what I'm reading, because they're both things that I'm reading, are down there. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Like I said, leave me a comment. This one was kind of tough for me to take to take something from. So I'm hoping that you guys will leave me some comments below about what you took away from tonight's reading. And I will see you guys tomorrow.